The human brain is one of the largest and most complex organs in the human body. Study shows that it is made up of more than 100 billion nerves that communicate in trillion of connections called synapses. My name is Corneline Nkosi, and in this video I will explain the process that I followed to create the model of the human brain. In creating my human brain, I used different materials. The material that I used is pencil, highlighters, scissors, a blank A4 paper, color papers, glue, plus a cardboard box. Now I'll take you through the different steps that I took to do my human brain model. I started by drawing down the model using my pencil. Then I pasted the model on top of the cardboard box. After that, I highlighted my model using different highlighters. Then I cut down my color papers into small pieces so that I can paste them onto the divided spaces on my model. After pasting them down, I labeled my brain as it consists of 6 parts. My brain consists of medulla oblongata, frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, temporal lobe, and the cerebellum. However, these different parts of the brain have their different functions. I will now list them out. Medulla oblongata, it passes messages between the spinal cord and the brain. It is essential for regulating your cardiovascular and respiratory systems. The frontal lobe processes information for memory, planning, decision making, and regulates muscular movements. The parietal lobe processes tactile information. It determines the body position and integral visual information. The occipital lobe, it processes visual information only. Then the temporal lobe, it processes the auditory information. Then now the cerebellum regulates body balance, the posture, muscular control, movement, and motor skill acquisition. However, the brain consists of many parts and they also have different functions. It is just that they are not included here in my brain model. During this creative process, I have learned a lot about how the brain works and how powerful it is. Now, the three aspects that I have learned is that the human brain is responsible for keeping our body running all day long. It does not only help people think and learn new things, but it also controls your movement and speech to the brain. And speech and the brain is part of the central nervous systems and receives tons and tons of information. Another aspect is that the brain is mostly fat as it consists a minimum 60% fat. And another aspect is that the brain does not feel any pain. It interprets pain signal sent to it, but it does not feel pain. During this creative process, you ask yourself a lot of questions about the brain. I personally ask myself that how does the brain restore much memories and still retrieve other memories? And that it is said that the brain does not feel any pain. So now I ask myself that if that is the case, what is painful on our head when we're suffering from a headache? Because all along I thought it was the brain having some pains. One interesting aspect I learned about the brain is that exercise is good for the brain as it improves blood flow, it reduces inflammation, and lowers stress hormones. So, after this whole process, of the human brain. I will now train my brain by exercising daily. And the study shows that the brain is similar to a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So, in conclusion, I will suggest that people should use their brain as it gets stronger as they use it, and they should know how to train their brain, as there are different steps to train your brain. If you want to train your brain, you can meditate, you can exercise daily, you can quit bad habits, health self discipline, you can practice gratitude, prioritize your time, write down your ideas, plan ahead for the future, and read and learn one thing daily. And that's where your brain will be trained. And now, as a future teacher, I now know how to embrace challenges in relation to a growth mindset, but in a more practical, creative, and fun way, as I learned a lot during neuroscience learning. And during this creative process, you ask yourselves a lot of questions as to why should teachers learn about neuroscience. And the study shows that teachers need to be prepared with foundational knowledge to understand, evaluate, and apply neuroscience of learning. With this knowledge, they will be able to recognize future implications from this rapidly expanding field of research to increase the effectiveness of teaching and build and sustain students' joy of learning. Teacher education needs to prepare tomorrow's teachers with knowledge and tools to prepare their future students for the game changing reality of globalization. Teachers need to understand the why and not just the how of the most effective teaching strategies to have the motivation and positive expectation to best utilize these strategies.